I would like to show you how to use filters in Photoshop. I still have my flower selected with the magnetic lasso. I did that before. I'm going to go to filters up on this menu, and there are some great filters in this video. I'm going to show you Liquify because it's really cool. So we click on Liquify and it opens up a whole new window. And before you get going, when you're done, you can either hit cancel or OK. Cancel just goes right back to how it looked before. OK accepts the changes you made, and once you do that, it's made. You can't go back from that. So here are some tools up here: the forward warp, the reconstruct, the smooth. And reconstruct basically undoes whatever you did. The smooth tool, smooth things out. Twirl clockwise. Pucker tool, bloat tool, push left, freeze mask, thaw mask, face tool, hand, and a lens. So we're going to just use forward warp right now. I can change my brush size. So I'm going to go up a little bit bigger so you can see it better of what's happening. And my flower, remember I had it selected in the other window, so it's still frozen. So it's just going to pull, and this color that it's pulling right here is actually on the edge of the flower. It's what I haven't yet selected. You can see it's masked. It's a bright red. It's got a freeze mask on it. But if I pull it all one direction, it looks like a reflection in the water. Is kind of why it's called Liquify. So if I wanted to do a photo where it looked like, you know, there was a landscape or something overlooking a lake, I could flip that picture, the whole picture of the landscape, and liquify it, and it would look like a reflection of the landscape. Okay, so there I've used the first one, which is forward warp. Let's say I don't like everything I did. I'm going to push my reconstruct up a little bit too. So like, oh, I don't really like this red here. So I can reconstruct the picture back the way it was with the reconstruct tool. Okay, so I can just fix that. Okay, another thing I could do is the smooth tool. Smooth kind of smooths out so it's not as extreme. You can kind of see what that does. It takes out these really harsh zigzaggies and kind of calms them down. Okay. Twirl clockwise. This is easiest to see when you do a pretty big brush, but you know, I can do a small brush too. So I'm just going to, on this, I'm actually just going to take my brush and I'm going to click and hold. I'm not going to move my brush. And if you watch, it's slowly twirling, and it goes slow enough that when it looks the way I want, I can stop just by letting off my mouse. If it went really fast, you'd be done. But since it goes slow enough, you can kind of sit and watch and wait until it's twirled enough. Get some interesting things. So, you know, if you just wanted an abstract thing, you could put colors on your page and then come to Liquify and twirl. Let's say I'm like, oh, I kind of don't like this anymore. So I could go back up to my reconstruct, put it back on there, and it untwirls it. And you can see it slowly going back to the way it was. Puts it back. Okay, so I can do that. Let's see, pucker tool will make that brush big too. Oh, I made that really big. So pucker pulls everything inward, and you can see it's starting to pull my picture off the alpha layer, the invisible layer. It's pulling it away from the alpha because it's puckering inward. I could choose bloat. that kind of big. Push things back out again. You can see how everything's being pushed out from the center. Bloat's really good if you want to make things that look like bubbles. You can kind of see that circle there. So let's say I wanted to make something look like a bubble. Kind of bloating it outward. And again, it goes slow, so when you're done, you can just be done. So I could do that. I can make some interesting things, and you'll see it's affecting the red behind my flower, but my flower is still not affected. Okay, and then if I don't, again, if I don't like it using the red of my flower, well, I can just go in and reconstruct that part of the picture. Kind of heal that up so I can have a little control. And I can do a really small brush, just want to heal a tiny bit, or a big brush if I want to make the whole thing go back the way it was. But there's a lot of fun things you can do just with the Liquify tool. Let's see. Freeze and thaw is what it sounds like. If I freeze across a section and then I do any sort of liquefying, everywhere this red mask is will not be affected. There's actually already a freeze mask over this flower. And then if I thaw, takes away the mask.